Okay, so here is a Bitcoin update of what's been going on. So let's talk about what's happening. So we discussed in early videos this head and shoulders pattern. So now this head and shoulders pattern, here is your neckline of the head and shoulders pattern. Now that it broke below the neckline, this to me is a cautious sign because head and shoulder patterns are bearish patterns. The way we're going to get our target is you go from the top of the pattern to the bottom of the pattern, bring your line, look where go from the neckline, bring it on down, and you get a target drop of about 20,671. I'm not saying it's going there. All I'm saying is that's where your head and shoulders pattern is probably most likely going to break to. We have levels in between. These are the levels that I'm looking at. 45,500 was our first support level that got broken. We had a potential double bottom that was setting in here. The double bottom broke. I'm looking at 42,500. That's our current support level. Looking for that to hold. Then we had 37,400, 28,750. Then again, our target of head and shoulders is about 20,600. Also in there, which I didn't write, but is a probably psychological level of about 40K for Bitcoin. These are the levels that I'm going to be looking at. Now, I'm not a huge fan of just keep buying dips and buying dips. I like to wait for some sort of confirmed reversal, because otherwise all you're doing is you're just hoping that these levels that I have posted are going to hold the support and you're looking to buy them. Now, what you want to do is wait for some sort of confirmed uptrend. So let's talk about a little bit about uptrend, downtrends real quick. You don't want to hold downtrends. What I'm talking about is you have a high here, and you have a lower high, and you have a lower high. You have a low, and you have a lower low. And now we're putting in potentially a lower low. That's a downtrend. You never want to hold Bitcoin downtrends. All that happens is that you get a bounce to a bottom, impulse wave up, bounce to the bottom, impulse wave up, bounce to the bottom, impulse wave up. Every time these impulse waves up, with the herd and everyone does, thinks that Bitcoin's reversing and we're on our way back to the moon. All it is just oversold bounces. So let's talk about that. Here's our MACD cross bearish. So we're in a downtrend and we're bearish on our MACD cross. Doesn't look like a great buying opportunity. Our RSI is now approaching what's called oversold levels. So when RSI hits about 30-ish, you're starting to enter oversold territory. So you can see here it bounced off the 30 level perfectly. You got an impulse wave up, and now we're moving back down. So this is your RSI, your relative strength index. This lets you know how strong the underlying asset is. We can break below. Gotta remember, it's an oscillator. This thing can go all the way down to zero if it chooses to. In the history of Bitcoin, it has. So are we going to get a bounce off of 30 like we did last time, or are we going to head down? Now, our next indicator that we're looking at is our stochastic. Again, it's in very, very oversold levels. We could just get a short-term bounce, meaning that because it's got all those sort of levels, the bots will kick in. They'll just do a quick buy trade. They'll just buy, wait for the bounce, and then sell and make a quick like 5-10%. If you're a hodler, you do not want to get caught in that at all. All that's really doing is giving you a false sense of bottom being put in. So watch for the short-term bounces. What the short-term bounce is going to look like is potentially that we kind of find support here off of this 42,500 level, and we come up and we retest this neckline. Meaning the price action is going to come back to the neckline of a head and shoulders pattern, and then it just reverts back down and could potentially dump back down to the next support level around 40K, 37,400. So that's what you want to look for. What you want to know is a buying opportunity, and this is where your buying opportunity is going to come in, and this is what I'm looking for. And this would be the greatest bullish scenario, is that we actually break back into the pattern, retest this neckline, and then we pop back up. That would be the biggest bullish scenario that we can have. But we've been having a tremendous amount of correlation to the S&P 500 as that kind of topples right now with the Fed. Expect Bitcoin to kind of go along with it because major institutions are both in the stock market and Bitcoin market, and they'll sell their Bitcoin or they'll cover any sort of levered position. So the markets are still so very over levered. So that's where you get these massive impulse waves down on forced selling to cover any sort of levered positions. So that's where I see the market going right now. And if Bitcoin's downtrending, I'm not really trading too many altcoins. I'm just kind of more on the sidelines, sitting on cash, waiting for my opportunities to come and pick and choose my opportunities. And right now, if Bitcoin's in a downtrend, look to sell any sort of pops in your altcoins very quickly, as they will sell off. Guys, subscribe to the Wealth Doctor and put any comments below if you have any questions.